Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Drift. So, I'm Pablo, your host, and if you're interested in alternative take on tech stuff, please follow or leave a comment. So, this time around, I'm trying something different, and I'm actually recording from a pub. So, what I didn't think is that there was gonna be music. So, the quality is probably gonna be quite shitty, to be honest, but hey, let's give it a try and let's see what we can get out of it. So, in terms of what I'm gonna discuss with you today, these are some of the key developments that I've seen happening in Q1, and a lot of it is about space. There is, of course, some AI, and then there is the customization of tech offerings. So let's start discussing a little bit what SpaceX has been doing. And there's been a big announcement. So Musk announced the merging of XAI and SpaceX, and effectively, this is to helping XAI to scale and compete with the other big AI providers, but it's also the idea of bringing those data centers space. That doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow or in the next few years, but that's sort of the trajectory that the company is going. Now, what is interesting is that reportedly, SpaceX is making quite a good chunk of money by sending satellites in space. And with this idea of data center, likely they're gonna have to send more and more satellites. So it's kind of providing, the money to its own company by setting itself up for a long-term growth in another area of the tech space. And we know that SpaceX recently filed with US regulators to launch something like 1 million satellites into orbit for that idea of orbital data center space. Of course, there are a lot of challenges in this project, but I think it's quite interesting to keep an eye on it. Doesn't have to replace what we have on Earth, but has to complement it. Now, a separate news that I thought was quite interesting was Deutsche Telekom AI Factory, and from the get-go, from the PR, it's all about sovereignty. The company highlighted a German stack to serve sovereign AI application and business science and administration. A few of the companies that are involved are Deutsche Telekom, Siemens, and SAP. So the industrial cloud is built with NVIDIA and Polaris, I don't know how companies pronounce, but effectively, you see how Deutsche Telekom is trying again to enter into the cloud space, now leveraging, the sovereign trends that we've seen developing across a lot of different countries. Obviously, we can expect similar moves coming from other European telco players. Now we go back to satellite. So Amazon Leo asked for an extension on the deadline for the first part of its satellite constellation, but also obtaining approval for a new constellation. That will include some 4,500 LEO satellites, bringing the total to 7,000. And as part of the new authorization, Amazon Leo can communicate in the additional VQ and cabin frequencies. So we see Amazon stepping up its game. Interestingly, and on other news, AWS partnered with AT&T on a bunch of cloud stuff, and sort of a side addendum to that was Amazon Leo making a cameo in this partnership towards supporting the satellite play. Something that's really, really interesting is that Bezos Blue Origin, so again, quite connected with that AWS Amazon ecosystem, announced that the intention to deploy a new satellite constellation called Terrawave. It's going to be 5,400 satellites. So I imagine that we'll keep the environment Blue Origin. The new constellation is scheduled to start being deployed in late 2027 and will target data center, government, and customers, bringing data speed of up to 6 terabytes anywhere on Earth. So um, this is highlighted to create a network for data processing in large-scale government programs. And interestingly, it said that it's going to serve a maximum of 100,000 customers. So I don't understand why there are going to be two different constellations from sort of the same company, if you want, but probably want to target different markets is probably the key element here, and why you want to have two separate constellations targeting potentially two different trajectories in the market. One more on the pure broadband consumer enterprise, and one of that sort of critical enterprise side. Very interesting to see how this is going to develop. Now, if you move more on the telco side, and I'm rushing through a little bit because I'm pretty sure that the quality of the sound is crap. So maybe I'm just gonna take a couple of short videos after this if I can get any good segment. So the T-Mobile US results went out. and they're like really good results. So the company gives the guidance for its future and customer revenues. And what I thought was interesting of the event is that they mentioned that producing a new me-too product in the telco industry is not good enough. And I think this is critical. It's really exemplify what T-Mobile wants to do because a lot of what we see in the telco world is just me-too products. So launching similar products are in the market to kind of even the playing field. So we definitely keep an eye on T-Mobile because they are setting the pace in the telco industry. Now, if you look now at one of its competitors, we see AT&T launching live premium event connectivity. So effectively, it's the ability to boost for any user their data connection on live events. What I found really interesting about this is that it's not only targeting AT&T customers, but also T-Mobile and Verizon customers. Now, to do that, of course, you need to have a certain smartphone and you need to have the eSIM. Why I think this is really, really true development is because it's not the first time that I've seen telcos targeting that eSIM opportunity within other company subscribers. And I'm expecting that to become a key trend for this year and the next year in terms of trying to drive the churn by leveraging the eSIM capabilities. So that was everyone. That was everything that I wanted to discuss. So let's see if this public experiment has been successful or has been a failure. We'll see later on when I'm doing some of the editing. For now, cheers, and we are gonna catch up later on. We'll see. 7 minutes, not bad.